Hey everyone, it's P4L, and in today's P4L review, we'll be taking a look at the newest release from Iron Factory. This is their third release from the War Giant series, or I guess technically second since the first two came in a box set, but this is their IF EX-24 Commander, their Cannon Chariot, or their version of a Legends Onslaught, obviously. Really quickly, packaging review, you do get this nice big box. He does come with most of the combining parts, at least for the torso, not the feet or the hands, but most of the other parts, and a little bonus. Around the side, you get a picture of War Giant. Really nice looking. I like the proportions. On this side, you get a picture of Onslaught or Cannon Chariot. Window on the front as usual. Same thing at the top here. Bottom with warnings. My box got beat up the way they sent it. And on the back here, we get some more product images of robot mode, alt mode, as well as the bonus here, which is IF EX-16H. And I forget what they call her, but it's their version of a kind of like a Nemesis RC. I forget what they actually call her. But yeah, you can see it combined with IF EX-22 and 23. I already did these two, and these guys are coming out soon. All right, so let's get this guy out of packaging. So really quickly, he does come in two trays. The first one being most of Onslaught's portions, as well as the chest and the crotch. And the back here, we have the backpack or guns, his back, and then these weird pieces. They're almost like missile pods. And here's the bonus RC. We're not really going to get into her in the review. We'll show her off, but we're not going to do any transformation or anything like that. You do get a set of instructions. They're pretty good. They actually show most of the combined portions, and it does actually highlight, and we'll go through it a little bit, that the extra parts do form some extra things, so we'll get into that. So this is what you get with the set out of packaging. You do also get a set of instructions that show off some of the things that we've hypothesized for a while, that the extra combiner parts and figures, blah, 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 would combine into another vehicle or a trailer, and that is true. You will see that here. I can't show that off fully since I don't have the limbs, the legs that were shown before, and I obviously don't have the arms yet, but we'll show that off once we get all the figures. Additionally, they have a quote-unquote statue mode down here, which is kind of a bust. I find it interesting that they did that, but it's really just kind of a let's see what we can make out of this. So, let's go quickly and start with their Iron Maiden, their Nemesis Iron Maiden, whatever they're calling it. It comes out like this, very simple. You just pull the backpack down on the double hinge to get it transformed correctly, and then you can kind of flail out these wings if you want. I'm not going to really go into it. The only other addition that they gave you, which is unique, is her blade here, which is a really cool blade. You can actually use it in the combined form as well, instead of her gun making the central part of her alt mode. This thing is huge though. This sword is like way taller than her, so it's kind of cool that they did that. Again, I'm not going to go into it. She does have some swords here, but we'll save that to see if you guys want a separate review on that. It's very simple. Honestly, I think that's probably their weakest figure that they've released, at least that mold. As far as Chariot Commander goes, or Cannon Chariot goes, here's the main bot. He does come with a blaster, and these are all combiner parts. So this is obviously the chest plate and the head. This is kind of the waist plate. This is kind of a, we'll show it off later, it's kind of a butt filler or rear skirt. It's kind of an odd piece. This fills his back, and you can see these are the arm ports, and these are his back cannons or something like that. For now, we'll put these off to the side and get to the main review with Cannon Chariot. And he looks really cool. Pretty clean. You can see on the back here, pretty clean. He does have like this weird butt skirt thing, but it doesn't, it's actually separated here, so you do get full 360 on the waist swivel. And I think I like how he looks. He's really bulky. He definitely looks the part of Onslaught. He does have some kibble here on the shoulders, and very small kibble, but that actually fades in pretty well with the leg. Before we get too far, let's go ahead and show off some scale. Here he is with their Optimus, about head to head, and then with one of their recent releases, their cone heads. And again, because of the pointy head, about the same size. But that's about the right scale, I think. People generally think he's about Optimus Prime height. As far as articulation goes, well, actually, let's zoom in real quick and look at his head sculpt. Very Onslaught-ish. Nice face mask, red eyes. He does have ball jointed head. Oops, sorry, he does have a ball jointed head. Let's see what else he has. Nice paint apps. I don't talk a lot about paint apps, but he does have gray here, kind of gunmetal on his guns here, on the back piece here. Even on the windshields are painted blue, so it's like a metallic blue on blue. So they always do a pretty good job there. Some green highlights in places as well. They do quite a good job with paint for such small figures. I think a lot of people like that. His blaster can go ahead and peg into his hand as normal. And it will become part of his combined gun. But again, I don't have any other figures right now, so I can't really show that off. But it's a nice size. It also has some purple highlights here. As far as articulation goes, in addition to the head, we do have shoulder joints that go up here, and then ball joints into the actual arms themselves. So you get a great range of motion. He does have a bicep swivel that can go all the way around. Double jointed elbows, so he can fold up completely. And he has a wrist swivel, which is always a welcome point of articulation on figures this small. We talked about the waist, no ab crunch, which is kind of a bummer, but it's a Legends figure, so I don't really expect it. His legs are ratcheted since they're going to become the hips of the combined mode. Friction going out this way, and then he has some weird joints here that are ratcheted. Again, that's really for combined mode, so we're not going to talk about it. One thing that I don't really get is that he does have this weird joint here. So if you open up these flaps and fold them down, you can get more knee articulation. But so they like kind of peg into place at the top. But I guess it's just for his knee joint. But they're kind of odd joints. He does have a knee swivel. Yeah, I guess that's the only thing. But like you can actually pull up on it as well. That's why I'm not really sure why it does this. In any case, you get about 90 degrees in an odd way. He does have an ankle rocker that goes forward and back on a separate joint than his ball jointed toes, which gives him a little bit of toe articulation. Not a pure ankle toe, but pretty good. On the back here, he also has his cannon, which is just pegged in. You can unpeg it if you want, or you can swivel around. Some people were asking whether this is the correct mode, where you see the hollowness underneath. Yes, that is the correct mode. The reason being is that it actually has a peg here. So if you do it like this, well, while you can do it, it's not really designed to do that way, and it doesn't sit flat. But if you want to do it, go ahead. Let's see, is there anything else I need to talk about with robot mode? I think that's about it. None of the other accessories really work in robot mode. I guess you can like peg this in if you wanted to have it kind of armored up. I don't know if that actually works. Yeah, I don't think it actually works. Even though it would theoretically... Oh no, actually these wouldn't work. They peg into the back here. So you can't really use these in any other meaningful way. So all the other accessories you'll just hold off until combined mode. So for transformation, we're going to go ahead and go into alt mode, and then combined mode, and then back into alt mode, and back into robot mode. Alright? So first thing we'll do is come in here, there's a little gap, you just pull this down, fold the head plate down, close that up. Next thing we can just move this out of the way. The arms, you'll just get the fist rotated so the palms are facing upwards. Fold these down on themselves, they don't peg in, you just go ahead and fold them down like so they're 90 degrees and 90 degrees. Flip them around like so. This gun will fold back like this. Or I guess if you want, you can rotate it around, fold it down like this. It doesn't really matter at this point. But you'll get these arms rotated back on that shoulder joint. And there's tabs on either side of the arms. Like so. And these are going to fold down and tab in to these side pegs on the hips. That's pretty much it for that section. Going down to the lower legs, we're going to go ahead and fold up these toes on the ball joints so they sit kind of flush like that. You can go ahead and tab both halves of the legs together, and they just, oh, you want to flip these down if you flip them up for robot mode, and you're just going to push down and collapse them into the lower legs. You go about that much, and then you'll see this tab here. This tab will go into this slot here, like so. Go ahead and take these big blasters and they'll peg in on the arms. Make sure the arms are tabbed in all the way so that these peg holes, corresponding peg holes, fit in. Come on. There we go. One thing I will note on this is that the only part that doesn't have paint, that should have paint, I think, are these tabs on these back pieces. I don't really know why. Maybe for the combined, maybe for the statue mode, they tab in. For most other modes that you're going to use, you're not going to ever use these tabs, so you don't really need them. But I guess they did it to save on paint scraping or chipping. Lastly, if you want to make use of this gun, you don't really have to. They don't really talk about it. You can peg it in back here if you want, or any of these peg holes here or here. We'll just leave it here for now. It's kind of like a turret. So this is the alt mode. It looks pretty good. It cleans up pretty well. You do have the visible hands here, but that's about it. You do have the torso here, but you don't see much of a semblance of a robot. You can't rotate this turret, but really quickly, you can rotate these up about 80 degrees. So that's kind of cool. And then obviously you have this turret here that can rotate around. So pretty cool looking alt mode. I actually like this alt mode a lot. Go ahead and plug this back in. Very quickly, with these alternate pieces, you can... I'll do some of the combined parts since I can do some of it. The first thing we'll do is go ahead and just fold in these combiner ratchets for the arms. And they're ratcheted. I don't actually know why, because they just sit in place. I don't think you actually use them for any articulation robot mode. But you do that, and then you fold this down. This piece, you're going to untab this section here and fold it out. That was tabbed in there. And this is actually going to sit kind of like this. Kind of odd. And I think these rotate like this. Oh, this is where they tab in. Yeah, so these will tab in here. So maybe that's why they got unpainted portions there. So this part is done. This part is done. This part stays the same. This part, you're going to fold these down. And how it works is, you'll see this tab, these two ports here actually have a slot in the middle. That's going to go in there. And these two tabs are going to go right up in here. So keep the head down for now. Tab in these sections up at the shoulder first, and then you can tab this section in. Down here, you want to make sure that the crest piece can fold down. And fold these back. You're supposed to fold them back. Leave them up for now, just so you don't damage your figure, because you're going to bring this in, and this will tab in here to there, like that. And you'll see these rotated hip pieces kind of sit in there. I told you not to fold it down yet, because once you do that, then you can fold these down and sit them in place. And then this portion is supposed to go with the feet. They also go with the hands. The fist will port in here, it looks like. Alternatively, you can separate them and use them here and here for now. We'll do that just because I don't have the feet for now. And as I said before, it's the way it connects. The trailer connects in an odd way, not as you would expect. You connect it like that, and you have this weird trailer hitch, like so. And again, all the pure portions of the feet will come back here, but you get an idea of how this is all going to look. So it's pretty cool that they actually made use of the extra parts to make the trailer. I like that. One of the biggest complaints that I've had and others have had about this set so far is that it's fairly expensive for Legends. Like this set here with the War Giant Maiden or whatever is $70, which is a lot for one figure and accessories, but then we found out you're going to get her, so not too bad. And since you do get some more playability with the rest of these, it's actually quite nice. It's fairly affordable. Let's see, these pieces will peg back together. And there's not really any articulation to talk about in alt mode aside from the wheels spinning, and we've already talked about the turret. So we're not going to go into any more detail there. We're going to keep moving along. This portion does get a little tough. I didn't want to push it in too much, but I ended up doing that. Go ahead and untab that, pull that, and then just push down here to release these portions. Let's go ahead and do this a little bit later. Push that off the side, pull this off, and let's get into combined mode with Cannon Chariot. So not very far to go. What we'll do first is go ahead and untab these sections on the sides, flip them up and flip them down respectively. The arms are going to come down like so and rotate them like this so the fists are facing forward, and you'll see this tab and slot on the side here. That's going to go in like that. Same thing on this side. There we go. This gun is going to come up. Make sure that you have the hollow part rotated so that it faces forward, and you're going to fold it down. It doesn't work the other way. The legs, go ahead and we'll stretch them out first. All the way. Don't think this side went all the way. Anyway, split this. And what we're going to do here is bring the legs out, and that joint I was talking about before, we're going to go ahead and rotate it there. And that becomes the new hip joint. Same thing on this side. I don't know why this is acting kind of weird. There we go. And make sure it's extended all the way, because that's how you get this thigh swivel, which will ultimately be for combined mode. Back here, I'm going to flip this up. It's the windshield, and you'll see there's a little tab or slot here. You want to fold that down, and it's the kind of I-beam piece that will combine with the legs. I imagine they'll slot in, and you can probably come back and rest these in like so. So that's the main body. Bringing in these other portions, let's start with the backpack. What you're gonna have to do here is fold these down, rotate them like this, and then you want to pull out slightly on the bottom of these and rotate these up. See, this shallow tab goes in here, so don't just pull it up. You might, damage something. Pull up slightly. Also remember to pull these tab pieces out. Again, they're ratcheted for a reason I'm not really sure. It's not very clear to me, since I don't think you're really going to use these portions of the ratchets. Ow. They are nice and tight though. So they would literally be the shoulder joint going down. They do rotate, obviously, for shoulder articulation. You'll see these two sets of ports will go here and here, and this main part on the gun will tab in there. So let's do that first. It's kind of tricky. You got to make sure you align all these ports and parts up. Make sure you ever get everything cleared. There we go. Push all that in. Make sure that's tabbed in. I wish there was a portion here that would tab in these two or secure these two pieces. They're actually quite secure in terms of tolerances, so it's not a big deal, but it would have been nice to have some kind of securing mechanism. And I wish these sat a little bit flatter. They don't actually sit perfectly flat. They're kind of angled up. Not a big deal again. This piece is supposed to come back here and form kind of like a butt flap, I suppose. If you want, you can flip it up this way. I think I might prefer this way a little bit more. The gun or backpack will peg in here. Oops. Like so. And actually, if you wanted, you could take this butt flap piece and peg it up here for extra thrusters or backpack. But again, we'll just leave it as the official mode, which is down here facing down. This piece, fold these crotch pieces as normal towards the port. This will fold back up. And this will fold down to secure everything in place. And that is held into place by these kind of semicircle cutouts will go into where the legs are, and this port will go into his crotch. Like so. Lastly, we have these chest pieces. The wings fold back out. Leave the head up like this for right now. And this combines with 3 different ports. This main port here, and then 2 more up here. There we go. Make sure this one pushes in all the way. There we go. And then you'll see this piece. Oh, sorry, I guess I can't do the backpack until last because this has to come down and sit right there. My apologies for that. And then you can pull the crest piece and antenna up into the correct portions. Put this back in the right order. And there we have War Giant in his combined mode. Or at least a Cannon Chariot in his combined mode. And it looks really nice. This is a really cool looking torso. And is quite massive. I mean, you do have all those extra parts. But for such a small Legends figure, again, showing him off with their Optimus Prime, he's way bigger. You'll have these ports here, these ports down here, or tabs down here will combine. And I wish, again, I apologize that I don't have any other figures to show off at this point. But he looks really nice. He does have full 360 waist swivel. Just be careful since this might get caught. His cannons can still rotate backwards, not forwards. But they also have a rotational joint here. So if you want to maybe rotate them like this to give them some color when facing forward, you can do that. Or you can keep it in the normal position. The head is on, I think, a ball joint. Yeah, from what I can tell, it's a ball joint. Very tight ball joint. Has nice translucent purple eyes. And again, the crest can go up and down. I do wish this tabbed in a little bit more securely down here. It's more of like a resting place than an actual tab. Can't really talk much about these. The legs, so his hip skirts do rotate out of the way so you get his leg articulation. Again, you do get ratcheted. You don't get all the way 90 degrees, just about 45. And then going out, you use the ratcheting piece here. If you want to make him a little bit taller, I guess you could use the Onslaught joint and make these ratchets a little bit angled. So you can get probably another centimeter or 2 at height if you want to do it that way. And then he does have that thigh swivel. Going back, he doesn't have much, mostly because of this piece. But you can get this out of the way and get a little bit there. And then maybe this is also why they have this existing piece to get a little bit more articulation. I'm not really sure why, but it's there. So if you want to use it, go ahead and use it. But yeah, that's really it. The gun will end up folding up like this, and this piece will come down, and this will end up going into the fist. But again, I don't have anything to show that off with, so this is where we're going to leave it for now. And that's really it. I think it looks really good. This is the only piece that bothers me. If you don't want it, you can probably find some other places to put it. And again, it could be some additional missile pods or jetpack. I think it looks best this way. And it doesn't really interfere with any waist articulation in a way that you would meaningfully use it. So let's go ahead and get back into alt mode and back into robot mode and finish off the review. First, we'll take this off. Take this off. Pull forward on this to release that. Pull up on that. Then pull forward on the chest plate. Release all these pieces. And then this backpack piece. Just pull back here. And the quality of these pieces, I've said it before, I think Iron Factory has the most quality plastic and paint in the Legends class size. Not always the best transformations or any designs like this guy or this girl, but in terms of quality, I think they have everyone beat so far. Go ahead and flip this up. We're going to get the arms around like this. And again, combined in the back. These will flip down. The legs will just straighten out. combine both halves with that port here and some in the back. Flip these up, scooch these in, flip them down. Go ahead and collapse the legs and flip these panels back. And we have Cannon Chariot back in his alt mode. We're not going to show these pieces. I mean, it's really kind of meaningless to show that again. And then finally, we'll go back into robot mode. Robot mode again. We'll start with the legs. Open up these panels. Open up the arm panels. Extend the legs. Split the legs. And then flip the feet down on that ball joint. My one leg seems to stick a lot more than the other. Flip these down if you want the extra knee articulation. But for now, we'll just bring the shoulders down and around. Bring the hands down. Rotate at the wrist joint. Get this gun kind of up, like so. Flip the chest down. And then if you can get your fingernail in here, just pull up on the head. Tab this back in, and this tab kind of rests into place here. And there we go. We have the Commander Cannon Chariot back in his robot mode. So, final thoughts. I really enjoy this figure. I think he's really fun. He has great articulation overall, quality plastic, quality paint. The price point, again, is a bit of a sticker shock initially, but the fact that we do gotta get a sixth vehicle as well as another figure, even if it is just a repaint. As well as the fact that they have that statue mode, if you enjoy that. If you're going to keep your guys in robot mode or alt mode and have statue mode that you can keep all these extra accessories, you can do that as well. But by and large, I've been really enjoying this set. If you guys have liked these reviews and they help, please give a like, share, and subscribe. I'll have the official video manual up for this on Iron Factory's channel. If you haven't visited over there, it's Iron Factory Toys, their channel. And you can see the official video manuals there that I produced for them. If you guys want to pre-order these, as always, go ahead and click on the Toy Dojo link in the description below. My sponsors, they've always treated me well, and they'll be getting these guys once they're fully released. And I think that's it. So, once we get the last set, which will be their Whirlwind and Blast Off, we'll do a individual review on both of those, and then we'll do a combined mode or Gestalt review on that separately. Alright? That's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.